Today is May 26th. Today's quote is entitled, "What if he cheats on me? Should I stay with a spouse who has cheated on me? Do I have a right to leave him or her? What should I do if this happens?" Great questions, and so many other questions could be asked about this. Now, I don't know your particular situation. I don't know you. I don't know him or her. So I can only give general instructions by which you can think this out. Now, here's an interesting way to approach it in the beginning. Statistics. 50% of men today are cheating on their wives. About 25% of women are cheating on their husbands. Now, this is only known figures, so they must be higher because obviously not everyone who's cheating is reporting them to the agencies that give us these statistics. But what can we understand is that every time you marry an ordinary person, at least in America, you're running a risk of 50% or plus 50% that your spouse is going to cheat if he's a man, and you're running a 25% risk. That means 1 out of 4 wives. Now, you might say, well, in other countries, these statistics are lower. Likely they are, and likely they're going up. But whatever the case may be, you're running a risk. So if you're in America and your husband cheats on you, and you decide, let him go, and you decide you want to marry again, you're at 50% risk that your next husband will do the same thing. You're at 25% risk that your next wife will do it. Now, if your husband does it and he regrets it, or your wife does it and she regrets it, deeply regrets it, to the point where she promises, swears, commits that I will never do this again. It was just circumstantial A, B, and C. I feel really bad. I know I hurt you, and it's never going to happen again, and please forgive me, etc. If that's the case, then there's less chance that that will ever happen again if you stay with him or her than if you remarry. Now you might say, well, I just want to leave them. But then we have to ask the question, is that the best thing, to leave them? And you have to consider the children. Well, I don't like him because he did this, and I don't like anyone who does that. And I understand that. There's a lot of emotion around that. But what ultimately is best for him, for you, for the children? Can you forgive? Do you have that within your heart? People make mistakes. People are weak. Circumstances sometimes bring this on. The men or women are very close to other men or women in their office. And it's not intentional. It just happens in a weak moment. Do you have the capacity to forgive? Is your heart soft enough? Are you generous enough, kind enough to your spouse to be able to forgive them? That's another consideration. A third consideration is, did I have anything to do with this? In other words, did I drive them to a relationship with another man or woman because our relationship is not good, because I don't treat them well? They don't get the kindness or support that they want, or the recognition or the respect that they want at home, but they're getting it somewhere else, and they really need it, and therefore they're eating it up. Like, for example, women thrive on affection, men thrive on recognition. So men, if you don't emotionally connect with your wife and show her affection, and some other man does, that's like feeding food to a hungry girl. It's like starving her and some guy comes and gives her a feast. Similarly, ladies, if you're always putting down your man, disrespecting him, criticizing him, and there's some nice, young, beautiful lady in the office telling him how smart he is, how capable he is, how much she likes him, etc., then she's feeding him the feast and you're starving him. So I'm not saying in every case it's your fault, but I think it's valuable to introspect and see, is there anything that I've done that if I didn't do, perhaps the situation would be avoided? Now, obviously in some cases, your husband or wife is just weak, and you're a good husband, you're a good wife, and maybe some therapy is required, maybe more has to be done to solidify the relationship. But in some cases, we do drive our spouses to become attracted to other partners because we deprive them of the feast that we should be giving them. And we'll talk more about this in another lesson. Hare Krishna. If you like this video, you can subscribe below. Also, I'd really appreciate it if you share this video with others, if you comment on it, if you like it, do whatever you have to click to share it, because I think a lot of devotees would appreciate getting these videos. I try to take our philosophy and put it in a practical way so we know how to apply it in daily activity. And this is one of the services I do, and I want to reach as many devotees as possible. If you can help me, I'd appreciate it so much. Thank you.